videos, and I realized I needed to ask God into my heart. Still so young and innocent, I had no idea the kind of adversities I was going to experience in the short years ahead. When I was 9, my oldest brother Eric came home from college looking weak and pale. My mom took him to the hospital to realize the worst. He had cancer. So here I was, just 9 years old, knowing someday soon I could lose my brother. Those years were hard, but without them I'd be a different person today. Eric fought cancer for 5 years, and in the process he came to know the Lord like never before. Many of you knew Eric, and you knew he was not an average young man. And not because he just took meds or was bald. Eric radically inspired people because he made a choice. Rather than become bitter against God, he trusted him in these terrible circumstances. Early on, I thought that being a Christian simply meant pray this prayer, get baptized, be good, be nice to others, go to church, and God will be good to you because he loves you and wants to bless you when you obey. I believed that when troubles come your way, all you must do is pray, and he will answer the way you want. After all, that's what he said, right? I still believe that God answers prayer, and that he, more than any, knows what is best for us. But here's the thing I learned. Sometimes what's God's very best is not our idea of the best. Apparently, I hadn't paid much attention to Job before. Right after Eric died, I found a new unexpected piece about life. After all, I had seen him joyously worship Jesus right before he took his last breath. I knew that in Christ, I was no longer living for myself. I had little interest in the things of this world. It all seemed so trivial, as I knew it all eventually pass away. Last summer, I had a radical encounter with God. I've gone on 3 missions trips with our youth group, each impacting me in significant ways. But the last mission trip to West Virginia changed my life. We were headed to Welch, one of the poorest areas of the country where the needs are overwhelming. This was no vacation. We stayed in his school, shared a room with another team, ate simple meals, and worked hard. Not exactly what you deem fun in our society, but it was. It felt right. I didn't want to leave. Our group grew closer to each other and closer to God. After coming back, we kept each other accountable in Sunday school and studied materials that fanned the flames of what began in West Virginia. We discussed what it means to be a follower of Christ. I can never thank Pastor Phil enough. He has taught us hard truths to challenge us to live boldly for Jesus. Long before the trip, I had made a decision to completely trust God for a future spouse. I asked God that if he was to ever send someone, that guy would reach out without any hint of interest from me. This would take a confident fellow because I am pretty good at scaring boys away. I was very content to wait on God. 3 months after the West Virginia trip, a young man sent me a message. He was the son of the mission director in Welch. I was very surprised because we barely spoke when I was there. But wasn't that how I prayed? This was the first indication of God's answer. Weeks after chatting, Kyler stated his intentions. He said he wanted to see if I was the kind of person he could eventually marry. And asked if he could continue. Another confirmation. He was serious, not playing around with my emotions. Later on, we talked about how we were both passionate about missions. He asked if I'd ever be willing to move to Welch. I told him I had truly felt a divine pull to return right after leaving, long before he had ever messaged me. I said yes. So my faith story has more chapters to come. I'm now reading Radical, taking our faith back from the American dream. I'm reminded that Jesus is not a middle-class American. His purpose for us has nothing to do with success and prosperity. I have to ask myself, what am I really doing? Am I just living a convenient faith? Am I willing to go into the tough places and do more than live a comfortable life? The answer is yes. Yes, I am willing to sacrifice my own wants and desires. I won't be content with a faith out of convenience. I truly believe that when Jesus said, "Follow me," he was calling each and every one of us to live like he did, to love like he did, to leave behind what he left behind in this world, which were followers of Christ. To this end, I embark on a new journey. Someday soon I will be moving to West Virginia. In fact, the rest of my family is also sensing a call from God to serve him there. God has opened door after door for us. Even with all the help from Him, there are still plenty of obstacles for us to overcome. All we can do is obey and trust God to move forward to a place that desperately needs Jesus. He Himself told us, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." That is what I want to define my life, more than anything else. Thank you.